Yo, a one-shot Minato manga released, and Naruto having a special place in my heart, I had to read it. By the way, I would love to make a huge-ass video on the whole Naruto series eventually. Anyways, to get to the point, after the Naruto Top 99 results came out, and it was announced that Minato won and was getting a manga, I was excited. Not gonna lie, I was pushing for Sakamo just because we don't know much about him, and there's a lot of interesting ground that I think you can cover by having a story focused on Sakamo. But with all that said, I'm not mad at Minato at all. To put it simply, Minato is cool as fuck, and the story centered around him has the potential to be hella fun, which fortunately the world within the spiral is, and surprisingly more. Also, real quick, a major spoiler warning for everything in this video. The manga focuses on the relationship between Minato and Kushina. The story plays into Minato's strengths, which I mean, he does cool ass shit. Minato uses a flying Raijin stop to tell Beast One from hitting them. He's also battling two Jinchuriki while being a Jonin, which is wow. Now, we've seen Minato do that before, but Kishimoto can have Minato do that hundreds of thousands of times, and I'll still be amazed. Minato does some crazy stuff against Kurama. Now, I'm not a power scaler, but according to the internet, and what I mean by the internet, I really just mean Twitter. And what I truly mean by Twitter, I really just mean swag and six. Minato, he's him. He's that guy. Hashirama. You might have some comp. You might get exposed as a fraud. Who knows? I might have to push this Minato over Hashirama agenda and act like I know what I'm talking about. Minato spends a pretty decent amount in the manga creating a jutsu to protect Kushina. There is where we see the origin of the Rasengan, or wherever the fuck Minato called it. And hey, I can't talk, I'm terrible at naming things too. The purpose of the creation of the Rasengan is to battle Biju and Jinchuriki. When he's creating the Rasengan, he's also there with Jiraiya, which with one other character I will get to in a bit, who gets substantial dialogue in the manga besides from Minato and Kushina, of course. Even though revisiting the Naruto series, Jiraiya has some questionable acts, it was still nice seeing him. That also includes all the other characters that we got to see. Like, there's just one panel where we see Kakashi, Guy, and my nigga Obito, and it was just so endearing. It might be my favorite panel in the manga. Hell, Tsunade appears at the end of the story. It's nothing crazy, but seeing all these characters just puts a smile on my face. To explain more about why Minato created this jutsu to protect Kushina, during the time that the story takes place, they're in war. I'm pretty sure, no, I'm like 95% sure it's during the Third Great Ninja War. I could be wrong. With the war being a dangerous time, he doesn't want to lose Kushina. The reason why I think Minato loves Kushina is, yes, he does say he likes people that are stronger than him, but what I think he means by stronger, I think he means mentally stronger, because Kushina has to deal with being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and we see throughout the Naruto series the mental taxing that being a Jinchuriki can take on a person. To get back to Minato, when he says, "I don't want to lose you," that's when Kurama tries to take over her body. Well, before we get into Kurama trying to take over Kushina's body, I want to talk about Kushina first. First off, Kushina's fit is heat, especially that coat she's wearing. I don't know what it is, I just fuck with it heavy. When she starts forming into the one-tail and eventually three-tail cloak, that coat makes it look 10 times harder. Fit aside, Kushina's probably the best character in the manga. Well, it's either her or Kurama. Women characters in Naruto are mostly forgettable, besides Tsunade, who I think is heavily underrated. The rest of the characters, are kinda shaky. Sakura's cool. That's about it. I was genuinely surprised how much I liked Kushina after I read the manga. Seeing Kushina having the burden of being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki just brings me back to realize how much Jinchuriki had to deal with throughout all of Naruto, honestly, before the war arc. Kushina having to stay within a certain area, and the area being the Uzumaki symbol, is a very nice touch. And the guards cop blocking, well, I guess it isn't cop blocking, Kuchi blocking her? Arguably the best thing in the manga is the conversations between Mito and Kushina. Mito says that you need to find love to fulfill your vessel with, which is something I'm going to bring up later, and that she can't just sit there expecting love, that she has to actually go out and chase it. That leads to Kushina packing up the guards and her capping her ass off to Minato. The conversations they have in the saying, and the reason why I love this interaction so much between these two characters is because it covers a lot of ground. It gives us a little bit more insight about the Uzumaki clan. Not too much information, but I can take all the info I can get. The part of the conversation that got me thinking was the spiral and the helix. To simplify it, Mito says when Kushina finds love that the spiral will become a helix. The spiral being flat and fixed, while a helix is three-dimensional. Also, she says this about the helix: it seems like you're just going in circles, but your attitude slowly changes, and so does the scenery. I was trying to see how this implied to Kushina. What is the circle in life? What's the thing that it seems like nothing has changed? And I connected it to Kurama. The reason why I said Kurama is because for the majority of her life, she's been the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and it makes it seem like nothing has changed in her life. But from this point on in the manga, all the way up until her eventual death, her attitude has changed, so has the scenery. To get back to the Minato, Kushina, and Kurama fight, when Kushina falls in love with Minato, she gets a mental buff. Call me Black Swag, I'll be passing like crazy. Alright, let me stop. And Kushina also gets the willpower to fight back against Kurama. Speaking on Kurama, even though it's nice seeing the friendship between him and Naruto, especially because all they've been through throughout the series, but seeing Kurama being a hitting ass nigga again is just awesome. The most manipulative I think I've ever seen him, unless I'm blanking on something. The little shit he says to Kushina is just so great, and it makes for a awesome antagonist for the story. Minato and Kushina beating Kurama could connect to the overall theme of the story, and that is overcoming hatred. Since Kurama is the embodiment of it, after that we get a cool parallel between Minato and Naruto. Kushina and Minato having a sweet and beautiful conversation at the end. Also, this interaction between them at the end of the story also gives us more meaning behind the Rasengan. Before I go, I just want to say this. This story put me in the mood to consume more Naruto content, so I decided to catch up with the Boruto manga. I might make a video on it.